Hey guys, and welcome to a showdown between Captain Morgan on the left-hand side, leading the forces of the Vampire Coast up against Dong and his mighty High Elf legions. We're here on Mouth of the Pass, and yes, it is that time of the week. We do set weekly challenges here on the channel, and the one before for this week was indeed to get the greatest Bloated Corpse of all time into the Hall of Fame. That's right, damage value on a Bloated Corpse was the challenge. Cap Morgan once again coming out successfully. Double Bloated Corpses hiding behind this tree, thinking they're all sneaky-like, and it seems to be working. They're actually both technically hidden there. Up in the skies, we have 2 units of deck droppers. These are the handgun variety. Used to be massive in the meta back in the day, although they have seen fewer and fewer outings in recent times. We have zombie pirate deckhand mobs dotted through the front line, just cheap, cheerful chaff here, ready to die and allow the rest of the build to really pack the punch. In the centre of this formation, we do have 2 units of zombie pirate gunnery mobs here to bring the pain, as well as Queen Bess, the mighty cannon herself. Actually pretty good up against High Elves and their tightly packed formations. It's going to be protected as well by the Lamprey's Revenge regiment around rotting Promethean gunnery mobs who hold the line for an insane amount of time. Ton of zombie pirate deckhand mob polearms as well in the back line, supported by a vampire fleet captain of vampires. Invocation Heck, Raise Dead, and Dance Macabre are the weapons of choice. And we have RNS Assault Spy, always good to see her in action. She looks particularly badass there, posing on top of her pet Squidward here. Coming in with the Spearfisher's Net, All Hands Ahoy, Manon's Luck, as well as the Kraken Blade, giving that lovely bonus versus large. Now up against them, it's going to be a pretty elite High Elf force. We have Lothran Seaguard with shields dotted through the front line. Going to be able to trade relatively cost-effectively up against zombies because of that bowfire. They can also handle themselves up against scurvy dogs and other such units. Queen Bess raining down fire upon them, however. Just behind them, we have triple Dragon Princes, one of which is the Fireborn, the Regiment Renowned, supported by Ilaria the Radiant, looking to heal them up, of course, with Earthbloods, Fast Protection, Shield of Thorns, and Star of Avalon. And rounding out the force, we have a Flamesfire's Phoenix up in the skies. Should be a good fun one. Obviously, the Bloated Corpse is going to be aiming for those Dragon Princes you would expect, but you never know. They might be able to catch a load of Lothran Seaguard bunched up as well and get some pretty decent damage there. Cannon shots are coming, raining down on the Seaguard, which is a good target. Once again, he's going to be trying to get value with the Bloated Corpses, so best not to go after the Dragon Princes. Plus, the Lothran Seaguard can be a big pain in the butt, raining fire down, focusing down at gunnery mobs, as well as Queen Bess, because her crew will die very quickly to bow fire. Deck droppers are floating out to this left-hand side, looking to pepper down the Fireborn and other such units, maybe even go after Ilaria herself, as they have darted away from their Lothran Seaguard escort, who continue to shoot in at the front line, which isn't going to get them particularly great value, and they're now very static, so that cannon coming in is doing huge damage. 1 unit of Lothran Seaguard already off the field here. And on the right-hand side, Dragon Princes do start to reeve though forward. They can do some pretty awesome charges here. They lance in, sending rotten flesh of the undead flying in all directions. Got those guys down quite a lot just on the burst charge. Now in come the Fireborn as well, starting to whip around and push a little bit more into the back line, trying to go for a bit of a flank overload on this right hand side, which is a pretty good idea. Break up the enemy formation and then swoop in on Queen Bess. Flamesfire Phoenix jumping in the front line to hold them back from the might of the Lothran Seaguard, who are currently raining fire down upon the enemy. Deck droppers up in the sky, trying to shoot in the back of the Seaguard. Not doing too much damage though. It looks like they are going to be falling back away from the zombie pirate deckhand mob, at least at the moment, as Dragon Princes once again regroup on that right-hand side, getting ready to scrap once more. Flamesfire Phoenix has been hit by a Spearfisher's Net, which is certainly not good news for him, as he's now surrounded by the Lamprey's Revenge, who are shooting him with those shotguns point-blank range. Poor little Phoenix is getting absolutely annihilated. Aranessa coming in as well. All Hands Ahoy has been popped. She's going to dumpster that Phoenix if she can catch it. It looks like the High Elf player is trying to drag him out. Looks like, though, it's going to be done for him as the routing does start to commence. Lothran Seaguard continue to pepper down the front line where possible, although Queen Bess is also doing some nice work back, up to 84 kills. And oh no, in comes a big shot. And luckily for the High Elf player, it was going after the already routing unit. That Phoenix needs a little bit of love and healing, I think. Dragon Princes are doing a good job though, slowly chewing their way through the zombies. Not super cost effective at the moment, but clearing out the chaff will allow them to get into the back line, start surrounding some more of the key units. High Elf player, I think, needs to be getting a bit more aggressive. However, it is saving them from the might of the Double Bloated Corpse, who are being kept in deep reserve by Cap Morgan. Interesting tactic. Saw a lot of people compete in this challenge, just driving them forward initially, but he's really waiting for his time to shine, leaving those Dragon Princes relatively untouched, knowing how expensive they are. The deck droppers themselves starting to go after Alariel instead of the Princes. Flamesfire Phoenix is hit by an Earthblood, likewise is the Lothran Seaguard. We're even going to be getting a fast protection down on the Phoenix, as it does take a few shots, well timed there on that spell as it darts back into the combat once more. These pirate mobs going to be regretting firing those shots up in the air at the Phoenix, who is having an absolute whale of a time at the moment, floating down and causing carnage. Likewise, the Lamprey's Avenger are doing pretty solid work up against the Seaguard, but they do have those spears and the lovely little anti-large, so that will help them out slightly. Plus, the Dragon Princes can swoop around and try and get into their rear. As we can see, the Firebond are helping to clear through some of those polearms. Backlines are being flooded open though. The pirate gunnery mobs are being shut down by double Dragon Princes pushing through, as well as Alarielle, who's trying to find some form of refuge away from those deck droppers. Queen Bess shooting shots in once more. Let's see where they land, and it looks like it's still going after the broken unit, which I guess can't dodge, so it's not the worst target in the world, hopefully shattering them for good. And it looks like one of the Bloated Corpses with the speed of Lycos popped on it, giving it stalk and unspottable. What a cool idea! Popping that on him to try and get him into combat a little bit better. Of course, the Dragon Princes do not know what's coming from them. They've been hit by the Spearfish's net as well. Completely surrounded Arrowless Assault Spike. What will this cost them? As it seems there's going to be a heal coming in as well, maybe. The Vampire Fleet Captain is desperately trying to push in to help pin in these units. Looks like the Fireball are going to retreat, likewise the Dragon Princes. Dance Macabre has been popped on the Bloated Corpse, trying to increase its speed once more. And this slowly catching up on the enemy has been halted, though, by its own Vampire Fleet Captain, who's very happy that it hasn't exploded in his face. But with the hubris of the Dragon Princes, thinking the danger has passed, they launch themselves into battle once more. And the Bloated Boy comes in for absolute destruction on the double Dragon Princes. They get hit by an Earthblood and a fast protection. Looks like they may be able to get Arrowless Assault Spike for their troubles. But huge damage coming in. Both Dragon Princes taking massive, abusive damage. One unit is starting to rout from the field. Queen Bess is now continuing to shoot. Oh no, it's actually out of ammunition. Very rarely do you see Queen Bess use up all her ammo. 140 kills though, not too shabby. In the rest of the battle, which we have been ignoring because of that glorious Bloated Corpse play, Flamesfire Phoenix is dueling the deck droppers up in the sky and just about winning, but very low on health still. Firebond had been in combat for a long time up against those deckhand mobs, not having a whale of a time. However, Lothran and Seagull are trading much more effectively up against the pirate gunnery mobs. Lamprey's Revenge are on the approach, however. Arrowless managed to rally here. Looks like her little crabs are pincering a little bit, getting ready to come back into the fray. Bloated Corpse, though, is once again hunting down the Fireborn, as well as the double Dragon Princes on this flank, looking to punish them where possible, as it looks like they're going to get held up once again by an Earthblood. And in comes the Bloated Corpse and badoosh! Massive smack there, and the Dragon Princes once again are forced to flee in absolute terror from the might of the Bloated Corpse. Still not over though. Balance of power is in favour of the Vampirates. They're out of ammunition on Queen Bess. Alarielle is healthy, and the Dragon Princes coming in for a bit of vengeance. However, Spearfish's net does go down on them. Can allow the Vampire Fleet Captain as well as Arrowless to really take these guys to Pound Town. Alarielle pops a big Shield of Thorns, buffing her own troops, and it looks like the glorious Arrowless herself is going to be becoming an empty, hollow husk of a shell. And down she goes, so managed to do massive burst damage to the Dragon Princes, but at what cost? Losing your Lord is always a bad time. Deck droppers are now starting to focus down the Dragon Princes, that they're no longer a priority target for the Bloated Corpses. Unfortunately, though, the Flamesfire Phoenix seems to have got its regrowth, perhaps because it is really healed up right now, looking to come back into the fray. Lothran and Seagull continue to try to pepper down gunnery mobs as well as Lamprey's Revenge, but it's not going too well for them. They are relatively outnumbered there in the distance, and all triple Dragon Princes very low. Looks like they're falling back to get healed up, but it might be a mistake healing these guys. Actually, no, Flamesfire Phoenix is at full health, so healing up wouldn't be too bad, but they're very low on the model count, and unlike those pesky undead, you can't heal back the models. Flamesfire Phoenix is twirling and twiddling its thumbs in the air, doing a good job on the handgunners all round. It's going to be able to break them off. Seems they're in guard mode, which is the best way to have them here, so they do continue to pepper down the Phoenix where possible with their handguns, but they may well be done for. Phoenix is going to certainly have to put this game on its back, though, if he does want to win. Dragon Princes seem to have retreated far away from the battle and all clobbered up together. Alara the Radiant saving up some Winds of Magic with an Arcane Conduit, plus the Star of Avalon does come down, healing up all these elite cavalry, ready to come back into the fray once again. But the Lamprey's Avengers here, 9 models on those bad boys. Regeneration, Defender, they hate dying. If he saturates them on top of the deckhand mob polearms, he should be in a relatively solid position, I think, to win this game. Nice invocation heck has gone down, healing up the polearms as well as the basic mobs, and in the distance, the Phoenix does continue its duel. And it's winning as well. Well, second attempt at least, I suppose. This is the, it died the first time, came back the second time on that rebirth, did manage to kill some troops, and now it's going to be able to float back. It does, I think, have most of its fire plops left to come over and do some nice damage. It looks like the mobs are being beat back as well by the Sea Guard on most occasions. This one is running for its life. I think skirmish mode is still active. Probably wants to turn and fight it, I suppose. I mean, if you can get both the Sea Guard to sandwich that unit, might not be the be-all or end-all, but the battle is simply going to be won or lost with the Dragon Princess. So I completely understand both players wanting to focus their micro on this part of the engagement. It's all about the Phoenix, the Dragon Princess. Can they kill those key targets, which is the Vampire Fleet Captain of Vampires, as well as the Lamprey's Revenge? I think it's going to be a tough call, but in comes the Phoenix, floating over the enemy formation, taking a few shotgun shells to the face, and we're going to see some well-timed fire poos. We are indeed. Beautiful cast on the first one. Second one coming a little bit late. There was a bit of lag on them if you tried to pop too many in one go. But it looks like he's learned his lesson as more shots come in the deckhand mobs, both of which are now crumbling into nothing but dust and hollow husks. So it looks like the chaff is going to get cleared up for the most part. Wants to save some of those fire poos for the polearms. They're going to be a nuisance for the Dragon Princess to deal with. But equally, he's trying to get the balance power back into the middle where possible. Only 66 elves do remain. Flamesire Phoenix shooting some shots in to the Lamprey's Revenge. Not going to do too much damage there, but now coming in for a drive-by on those polearms. About a third health on one little drive-by. Not too bad whatsoever. Phoenix still has 1,790 health as well. May decide to come out over here and finish off these polearms, who themselves seem to be deteriorating and crumbling, as the Lothran Sea Guard have kited back and managed to shoot them in the face. More Lothran Sea Guard can be ready to the call of the Dragon Princess. Looks like the high elf player is trying to bide as much time as possible, save up those Winds of Magic, get those Shields of Thorns and Phaser Protections ready for the ultimate final showdown. Dragon Princess, 13 models here, 12 on the Fireborn and 6 there. That is a very beat-up cavalry contingent. And there are a thematic backdrop there of the mighty mountains spiking up like broken teeth. The Phoenix shall flop down onto the deckhand mob with the support, of course, of the Lothran Sea Guard. They don't want to get their hands too dirty, so I'm going to stay at bow lengths away and finish off the deckhand mobs in the backlines. And now these guys can float over once more onto the Lamprey's Revenge, and it seems like the Vampires player is trying to find some form of sanctuary within the trees, which isn't the worst idea because the cavalry will fight much weaker there, and he was also chasing down those Lothran Sea Guards who have now indeed shattered. Captain Morgan's forces, though, seeing that the Dragon Princess are going to be coming in, going to try to take the fight to them as quickly as possible, so these Lothran Sea Guard can't support, and neither can the Phoenix. A few shotgun shells come in on the Dragon Princess, doing some okay damage, and we do have a taunt going down, and a Spearfisher's net probably not too far behind. As I said, I remember thought the Aranessa has indeed been killed, so none of that's to come down. But just the taunt, going to lower that speed. A nice summon as well, kept in the back pocket. Going to be healing these guys up, pushing that balance power into scary, scary territory as more Dragon Princes are dragged down. This Phoenix is desperately trying to kill the Queen Bess's crew, which is what thought was a nice, easy, happy meal, easy to snipe around. Instead, is exhausted and being chased off instead by the Lamprey's Revenge, as well as that Vampire Fleet Captain. And the Captain is now in the thick of it, charging down Dragon Princes, pushing them back, doing some nice work. As you can see, many horses shall soon be riderless. Shotgun shells in the back, not a good way to go for a brave Elvish force. And it looks like they are kind of dishonouring their ancestors a little bit by fleeing, although trying to recover some of that honour by charging it into the deep once more, while the Lamprey's Revenge are distracted by the Flamesfire Phoenix, who will have not too terrible a time up against the Lamprey's Revenge because they do have a weakness to fire. Dance Macabre, though, has gone down on them, increasing their melee attack to an impressive 72, and they managing to push back the Phoenix here. Dragon Princes cycle charging their heart out, but every time they charge in, fewer and fewer charge back out. Valerio is relatively healthy, but she's not the type of character to carry a game on her back. She's obviously a support character, and the Dragon Princes, you can heal as much as you want. It's not going to be enough as the Vampire Fleet Captain gobbles one more prince up on his mighty crab mount. Fireborn trying to save Alario of the Rend at this point by charging into the fray. Polearms are starting to crumble and the majority of the pirates' forces are done for, but likewise the High Elves are really starting to feel the burn now, as army losses set in and the Phoenix dies once more. A few Dragon Princes remain, rallying around Alarel for one final suicide charge, but Lothar and Sigurd, despite the fact they are so far away from the battle, are just shooting a few shots in, getting ready to leg it because they know the writing is on the wall as Alarel charges in, screaming in defiance up against the Lamprey's Revenge. These bad boys are pretty much full health. Another summon comes down as well, flooding the plains with yet more undeadly horrors. Both the Dragon Princes seem to be teetering on the edge here. One unit, in fact, completely dying, getting shot down by those shotguns. The Fireborn as well, not having a good time, finished off as well by more shotgun fire. Lothar and Sigurd are out of ammunition at this point. Alarel does charge in, but Balanced Power is so close to army losses. As soon as she starts taking any form of damage, we're going to see her health just drop, and bam, there it goes. Her health drops, her morale drops, and she is out of there. Very well played to these two champs. Really fun game, and a massive shout out as well to Captain Morgan for winning this week's challenge, which was the most damage value on the Bloated Corpse. Well played to Captain Morgan as well as the mighty Dong. He put up a good fight despite the fact those Bloated Corpses did horrendous damage. Let's have a little look. One got 23 kills, 1,269 damage value. That was the second Bloated Corpse to go into action. Not too shabby, certainly put on a good display, but the first Bloated Corpse, guys, with 59 kills on Dragon Princes, 9,694 damage dealt, 3,501 damage value. The total value you expect to see from a Lord on a Dragon, not a humble Bloated Corpse. Beautiful little trick there, coming in with the Scroll as well as Dance Macabre to increase speed and allow him to get in there and do some good work on those Dragon Princes. Good stuff, and let's have a few seconds silence, I suppose, for this blessed Bloated Corpse who did, unfortunately, give his life for our entertainment. But yes, very good work, really fun build as well, and a good fun challenge. The next challenge will be up on my Discord. There'll be a link down below, so you can hop in there and vote. Voting will be going on as this video is uploaded, and we'll see what next week's challenge is, and hopefully some of you guys will, of course, compete in it and have a good fun time. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a big old fat thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe as well for more Total War Warhammer content, and if you want to support the channel in any way, you can become a member here on YouTube or on Patreon. There's a link down below in the description. But on to the good stuff. Arryn's Assault Spite did give her life to allow that Bloated Corpse to really do huge damage. Still, 700 damage value, not too shabby whatsoever, although not really paying for herself. Likewise, the Vampire Fleet Captain managed to rally the troops in the late game, but if we have a little look across the board, the Vampirates didn't do amazing, really, on any single unit, apart from a very select few, which of course was the Bloated Corpses, which basically single-handedly won this. The Hangers up in the skies as well, 1.2k, 1.2k on both of them, getting some lovely value. And the last two, of course, the Lamprey's Revenge, 3,309 damage value. Really good work by them, and basically full health at the end. They had so much more to give. They could have easily got up into the 5,000, maybe even pushing at 6,000 damage value rank. Queen Bess used up all her ammunition and got nearly 2,000 damage value, certainly not too shabby. Now for the Dong's forces, certainly should have got a little bit more aggressive. We can see the Lothar and Sigurd really paying a heavy toll. Some of them getting nearer their value, but most of them getting finished off by Queen Bess. Likewise, the Chill Dragon Princes didn't get terrible value, despite the fact getting sniped out quite heavily by the Bloated Boys. 1,000 damage value basically on all of them. The Flamesfire Phoenix, likewise 1.4k. Alara herself 69 in with that damage value there, but doing some nice healing as well, and that's what really she is here for. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this funny little battle. Until next time, peace, peace, and as always, stay awesome.